So this is a ARI webinar given by a lot of ARI people, okay, and they have circulated this emission. That means you, if you have attended the webinar, then you might have got this regulations. So in this sheet, they have provided all the emission norms for different types of vehicles. Okay, they have provided all the emission norms. That means for passenger vehicle and for commercial vehicles of class 1 and 2, you can see what are the carbon monoxide and you can say hydrocarbon NOx emissions, and you can say other nitrogen compounds and particulate matter and evaporated fuel, OBD and durability. You can see all these testings are provided to us by area. Okay, okay, so I'll be communicating both in, remember webinars, it is difficult to communicate in Hindi because most of the students will be from south. Okay, still I will try. ये जो सीट है, इससे वेबिनार मतलब ये ARI का द्वारा, मतलब ARI इसको प्रोड्यूस करता है. जब ARI का वेबिनार हुआ था तो ये उन्होंने प्रोड्यूस किया था. Okay, so there is not one thing, just one minute. Okay, so you can say actually this webinar has happened in April 2021. So and they have, we can say, because from April 2020 the BS6 emission has been started, and you can see the vehicles. जो vehicle हम लोग के हैं वो सब BS6 में अभी आ रहे हैं, तो क्या क्या उसमें जरूरत है तो हम लोग यहाँ से देख सकते हैं. So generally when ARI conducts this testing, they has to, you can say, the vehicle has to satisfy these norms. जब भी ARI ये टेस्टिंग करता है, then your vehicle should be satisfying this norms. कितना कार्बन डाइऑक्साइड, हाइड्रोकार्बन और नॉक्स एमिशन आपके व्हीकल के द्वारा होना चाहिए जब टेस्टिंग होता है. टेस्टिंग मतलब देखिए, कोई भी व्हीकल मैन्युफैक्चरर, ये मैन्युफैक्चरर के लिए होता है. अगर आप प्लेस होते हैं टाटा में या फिर कोई भी एक ऑटोमोबाइल कंपनी में, तो आपको ये इंफॉर्मेशन होना चाहिए कि कितना पार्टिकुलेट मैटर और कितना पोल्यूशन मतलब ARI अलाउ करता है और कितना वो, मतलब अगर उससे ज्यादा होता है, कितने से ज्यादा अगर होता है तो उसको बंद करता है. दैट मींस व्हाट इज द रेंज, दैट रेंज ऑफ द पोल्यूटेंट्स that a vehicle is emitting and that is allowed.
Sir, can you hear me?
Yes, hello.
Sir, please.
Yes, I'll be speaking in English. Okay. देखिए, जो शायद हिंदी में समझते हैं वो थोड़े थोड़े इंग्लिश भी समझ सकते हैं, इसलिए आई विल बी कम्युनिकेटिंग इन इंग्लिश. ओके, सो इफ स्टिल यू आर नॉट अंडरस्टैंडिंग एनीथिंग, जस्ट टाइप आउट आई विल बी सेइंग द सेम थिंग इन हिंदी. ओके, just not these webinars are not big because a lot of students will not be understanding Hindi properly, and my Hindi they may not be able to understand properly. So I'll be communicating it in English. It will be better. Mostly we have all these confusions. Okay. Okay. So these testings are done. Durability tests. You can say CO2 and fuel test, onboard and smoke opacity test. All these tests are done. You can see if BS7, that means BS7 generally fulfills all these tests. So these are the types of tests that are conducted by the ARAI in order to regulate the emission norm. That means if a manufacturer is not reaching these norms, then his vehicle or the manufacturer's vehicle will not be allowed to run on the road. It will not be allowed. So I think some of your mics are on. If you can mute yourself, it will be good. Okay. Then the OBD systems for emission. OBD stage 1, OBD stage 2. Generally we use OBD stage 2. OBD means directly all these readings are taken from the OBD. Okay, because how much NOx is producing inside an engine. Okay, and how much NOx, you can say how much carbon dioxide is produced inside an engine. Those readings can only be found out from OBD. Your ARI cannot install any external sensors on the engine. It can only install sensors in your tailpipe. It will not be able to install sensors. So we need OBD. OBD are your communicating ports. What are OBD? OBD are your communicating ports. Okay, onboard devices. OBD is your onboard devices port. So generally all the vehicles has they have OBD ports. If you connect, you can see if your laptop or your mobile phone with the OBD, there is a OBD reader. There is a OBD port. To the OBD port, we insert a OBD reader, and that OBD reader can communicate with the end user, using Wi-Fi, Bluetooth, or through cable. Okay. So, what are the things that are generally monitored using the OBD? Circuit continuity for all emission related to powertrain components. Distance travel since MIL, or you can say malfunction indicator lamp. Then electrical disconnection of electronic evaporator purge control devices, catalytic converter monitoring, EGR, exhaust gas recirculation monitoring, misfire detection, oxygen sensor, you can say deterioration. So all these things are done, or all these informations are provided by OBD stage 2. So this is a norm by ARAI. That means your vehicle should be equipped with OBD stage 2 port, so that whenever required, ARI, or not whenever required, whenever you will be sending your vehicle to ARI for testing, then they will be installing their monitoring or their testing units to the tailpipe, some other devices, some of the other components, and also to the OBD. Okay, and also to the OBD. And OBD should be able to provide all this informations. Again, for vehicle class 1, class 2, class 3, what are the CO2 emission norms? What are the NH, or you can say NH hydrocarbon, sorry, NM hydrocarbon generation norms, NOx norms, and particulate matter norms for gasoline, or for that means for petrol engine, and for diesel engine it is bit different. Okay, because in diesel engine there is lot of NOx production and hydrocarbon production because of high pressure. Diesel engines operate at higher pressure than a petrol engine. Hence, because of high pressure, more amount of NOx is generated in diesel. Hence, the norm, or you can say the threshold is for diesel engine is 540 milligrams per kilometer. Then what are these WL? These are test cycles. These are test cycles that are used by your, you can say, test centers like ARI. We have a whole lot of test cycles. This is WMTC, Worldwide Harmonized Test Cycles. Okay. You can find various types of test cycles. There is a WLTC cycle, MIDC cycle. Okay. If I search, we can say WLTC cycle, then it is a worldwide harmonized TC or TP. It can also be TP or TC. Okay. So WLTC, it is a worldwide harmonized light vehicle test cycle. So this cycle is used by Japan. This cycle is used by China and most other countries in order to test their vehicles. For what? For mileage, for reliability, and for emission. Okay. So these are WLTC and WLTP cycles. So what are these cycles denote? They denote the time and speed. That means your vehicle, when it is connected to the test rig, okay, your vehicle, when it is connected to the test rig, then the test rig will simulate these conditions. That means your vehicle is tested. How the vehicle is tested? Obviously, the vehicle will be running. There will be a dynamometer, or there will be a test rig where the tires will be rotating and the vehicle will be moving up and down. So that test rig, in that test rig, generally, these speed tests are done. And during this speed test, how much emission is happening is monitored. Okay, so what type of cycle do AI use? There are various types of cycles like WLTC cycle, WLTP cycle, you can say WLTP cycle, WLTC cycle. Okay, then these are also used for testing your electric vehicles. So in the same way, your AI used WMTC test cycle. Okay, WMTC test cycle for testing your vehicles, either a electric vehicle, hybrid electric vehicle, or a gasoline or diesel vehicle. These cycles are developed. These cycles are generally developed keeping, you can say, keeping into account or taking into account the terrain in which the vehicle will be running. So your AI uses this WMTC and WLTC cycles. So these are some of the procedures needed to perform the test. Okay. Then engine net power measurement tolerance. So how much the engine is emitting. Okay. Remember, your ARI does not only qualifies your engine, so it qualifies your vehicle. It also does a whole lot of testing on the components of your vehicle, and it can help you improve your overall quality of your vehicle by providing you its information. It has a lot of test rig. Your ARA has engine testing rig, vehicle testing rig, vehicle dynamics rig. A lot of rigs are there in ARA, and they provide all these services to the vehicle manufacturers. So whenever you want to test, so you can use this test cycles. So classification of vehicle, as I was saying you, that class 1 vehicle, class 2 vehicle. So these are the classification of the vehicle. So vehicle that fulfill the following specification belong to class 1. What are the class 1 vehicles? Whenever you see in any, like any manufacturer or any like Tata, Mahindra, Bajaj, or Tata, Mahindra, Hyundai, any four-wheeler or two-wheeler manufacturing company, when they represent class 1 vehicle, then the class 1 vehicle engine capacity should be within 50 to 150 cc. Maximum speed should be less than 50 kilometer per hour. Okay, or engine capacity less than 150 cc and 50 kilometer per hour to 100 kilometer per hour if it is. Okay, actually the speed is not, this is not the speed. The speed is within, you can say, your 50 kilometer per hour to 100 kilometer per hour, and engine specification is from 50 cc to 150 cc. Then it is considered as a class 1 vehicle. Then subclass 2.1 vehicle that fulfills the following specification: engine capacity less than 150 cc and 100 kilometer per hour, speed to 115. Then class 2, then vehicle belongs to class 2 have same cc range and Vmax less than 130. Class 3, you can say greater than 140. That means all of these have less than 150 cc for two wheelers. These are for two wheelers. Regulation for two wheelers gasoline. And finally, for subclass 3.2, the vehicle speed should be more than 140 km per hour. Okay. So all these testings are done by ARAI. So whenever I am showing you this, all these things are shown by ARAI. Then again, WLTC cycles are used in order to test vehicles that belongs to class 1, class 2, class 3, class 4. Okay. Then what are the types of test? Exhaust emission test, spark ignition test, and the durability of anti-pollution devices is determined by actually durability running over 30,000 kilometers, or by anti-pollution devices means like your catalytic converters. Okay, your EGR, exhaust gas recirculation, those are anti-polluting devices that are installed in your vehicle. And they generally, because a manufacturer can say that yes, I have installed anti-polluting devices, I have installed catalytic converters in my tailpipe or in my exhaust system, and I also have installed your EGR, exhaust gas recirculation. But what is the durability? Because from the day of use, they will start to deteriorate. So what is their deterioration rate? All these things are tested by the ARA. Okay. Again, WLTC cycle for BS321. Okay, let me just show you. This is the WLTC cycle test cycle for BS6. Okay, this is for BS6, and these are the test cycle for BS two-wheelers for BS3, 2, and 1. So these test cycles are used, but we have already gone for BS2, 3. I mean, that means there is no need of any testing, and we don't. You can say producing vehicle that will that has BS3 or 4 rating, so BS3 or less than BS3 rating, are not advisable to run on the road. They will be restricted. I'm sorry, Santosh. I'll be talking slowly. Just try to understand, because most of the students here are in English. So if I'll be using Hindi and English, then it will be taking a lot of time to cover this. Okay. So please try to accommodate. Okay. So the emission standards, Bharat stage 6, you can see again which cycle is used. You can say the WMTC. Okay. WMTC cycle is used for checking. Okay. Now, these are the limits. Limits is for two-wheelers, for three-wheelers with PI engine, and for three-wheelers with CI engine. Okay. So limit is 440. So these are the limits. That means whenever you will be, or your manufacturer, anyone can be the manufacturer. That means anyone means your Tata, Mahindra, Hyundai, all these manufacturers, when they will be, you can say, testing their vehicle, these are the standards, or these are the limits they should reach in order to approve those vehicles. Okay. Again, same thing. What are the OBD port 2? Remember, this OBD port 2 will be available from April 1st, 2023. So most of the vehicles, they have now OBD port 2. Okay. Most of the vehicles have OBD port 2, but it will become mandatory after after 1st April 2023. Again, driving test cycle 6. Okay, again for three-wheelers, this is a driving test cycle 6, that is time with kilometer per hour. So these test cycles are used. If you think, sir, how the vehicles are tested in test rig, when ARA is testing the vehicles, how is ARA testing these vehicles? What are the things that ARA is using? Some of your mics are on. Okay. So how ARA is testing all these things? ARA is using all these test cycles to test these things. Okay. ARA is using this test cycle. So these seats are generally provided to the manufacturer to fulfill the emission norms. That means manufacturers should follow this seat as a guide. These are the testing standards or testing cycles that need to be used, and the vehicle should pass these testing standards. Okay, as well as cycle. Again, mass emission test standards. All these are various types of. Then you can say quadricycles are also there. So what I'm talking about is I'm talking about various types of cycles that are used to you can say check your vehicle. The manufacturer will be checking the vehicle. Generally, it has a certain limits of, you can say, 1000 CO2. And quadricycles, these are quadricycles base 6. Quadricycles are also a type of vehicle, four-wheeler vehicles with four tires, then monitoring units. Okay. So now this is the way in which it is done. Driving cycle, vehicle soak is then breathing loss, driving cycle, and hot soak test. So the other types of tests that are done on the vehicle for emission norms. Okay. Okay, so these are all the standards we have seen. The same thing will be repeating. Okay, it will be repeating same thing. Now let us come to the fuels. Okay, it will be repeating. These are the testing standards and testing norms. I will be supplying you with this PDF that you can know. You can from this PDF you can know the testing norms that are proposed by the government of India through ARAI. Okay. Now let us move towards our how engines and hydrogen technologies are used. So first let us go to the dedicated hybrid engines. So these dedicated hybrid engines, they uses biofuel and a certain type of fuel. What are the advantages of using dedicated hybrid engines? Generally, in order to achieve the required pollution norms set by the governments, we have to change the type of engine. Okay. We have to change the type of engine that is required. So let us see what is a hybrid engine and what is a dedicated hybrid engine and what are the alternate fuels and fuel properties that are there. So we all know what is an IC engine, an internal combustion engine. Internal combustion can be SI engine, CI engine. That means it can be a spark ignition engine or it can be a compression ignition engine. Okay. So we all know how IC engine works. Okay, someone's mic is on. Okay. So you can say how IC engine works. We all know how IC engine works. There will be a intake port, there will be a compression chamber, then there is the compression and you can say expansion chamber, then exhaust port are there. And this way you can see your IC engine works. It works on cycles. First is auto cycle. I'll not be discussing more about that auto cycle. Okay. So it uses a cycle to work. So your hybrid electric vehicle, you can say nowadays, though gasoline vehicles are still being manufactured, but your dedicated hybrid engines are used in hybrid electric vehicle. Okay, they're used in hybrid electric vehicle. So what is a hybrid electric vehicle? We know what is a hybrid electric vehicle when it has one or more power source. That means an electric vehicle that has one or more power source and one of its power source is electric. Then we call it as a hybrid electric vehicle. Okay, that means it has multiple power source. That means it can have an engine along with a battery. It can have a fuel cell along with a battery. It can have a flywheel along with a battery. It can have supercapacitors along with battery. All these things can be considered as hybrid electric vehicle. Why? Because they have multiple power source, but one of the power source is electrical. Okay. Then what are dedicated hybrid
complete
engines?
for this session. 2
Okay.
hours later in this complete session.
Okay. So now what are hybrid electric vehicles? Sorry, dedicated hybrid engines. These dedicated hybrid engines are specially developed to attain the pollution norms set up by various governments. So what is a hybrid or what is a dedicated hybrid electric vehicle? A dedicated hybrid electric vehicle, it is an internal combustion engine that requires an electric machine in the drivetrain to undertake its desired function. That means a dedicated hybrid engine has, that means in a single casing you have an engine as well as a motor coupled together. Generally in most of the hybrid vehicles what we see is we see a engine and we see a motor separately coupled together, or they are also coupled, but in a single casing the engine casing and the you can say motor casing will be a bit different. But in a dedicated hybrid engine, the casing is single. That means the engine is directly coupled with the motor to provide the required output. That means we won't be going for series, parallel, or complex hybrid systems. But a series system means the engine will be running the motor will be running the vehicle. Parallel, the engine and motor, both of them will be running the vehicle. Complex, you can say complex hybrid means they can act as both series and parallel hybrids. So why develop a dedicated hybrid engine? Use electrification to simplify the conventional base engine architecture while improving system energy efficiency. A hybrid powertrain adds parts, cost and complexity. A DHE simplifies the engine system and reduces BOM cost overall. So why it reduces? It is because in a hybrid electric vehicle, we use motor and also we use engine. Now to couple the motor and engine, we require a lot of complex mechanical links, and both of them can be, or you can say those complex links can be removed by using your dedicated hybrid engine. Why? Because they have the, or you can say they that means because the motor and the engine is coupled together. Okay, both the motor and the engine is coupled together. So you can see this is the pollution norm for a IC vehicle, micro hybrids, mild hybrids, hybrid electric vehicle, full hybrid electric vehicle, plug-in hybrid electric vehicle, then IC rev, then these are full electric vehicles. BEV means battery electric vehicle, fuel cell electric vehicle. They have zero tailpipe emission. And your dedicated hybrid engine, they can have a range from here to here. That means they can reach very good emission norms. The range of powertrain for which dedicated hybrid engines is a realistic proposition. So, sir, why it has a range? Obviously, it will be having a range because when you will be running with low, or you can say high fuel, low air, obviously there will be some emissions, and sometimes the engine may wear out and causing more emission. So there is a range. This is a range. There is a range because of the reliability of the engine. The engine, when it is very new, it is not the reliability, the health of the engine. Sorry, not reliability, the health of the engine. When the vehicle is very new, the engine health is very good, then we will be having very good, or we can say we will be having very good emission. That means there will be no harmful pollutants, or the required pollutants that are there will be very less. But as the engine ages, slowly the emission will increase. But we have to repair it before it reaches this. Then what are the benefits of using a hybrid electric, dedicated hybrid engine? Conventional powertrain directly provides all mechanical power. Hybrid powertrain, engine functionality driven by hybrid powertrain. But in direct, you can say dedicated hybrid engine, both it is a flexible approach. Why? Because both the engine and motor are, you can say, coupled together. Engine performance, broad engine speed and load range. Idle power requirement to maintain the auxiliary. Peak vehicle performance linked directly to engine peak power. Okay. Increasing electrification means greater flexibility in defining engine operating envelope, significant opportunity to balance power, significant opportunity to improve, or you can say in dedicated hybrid engine, generally we have significant opportunity to increase or improve the engine drive cycle efficiency. Then powertrain control, engine operation directly linked to driver. Engine control focused on pollutants versus CO2 trade-off across drive cycles. Engine operation and controls can be detached. Operating decision made on an optimum powertrain efficiency basis with emission envelope. Then DHE specification and core architecture designs determined at the powertrain level to maximize powertrain benefits. So you can see with intelligent control, cooling and thermal management, all these things are installed in a single engine. There is a dedicated hybrid engine. Okay. Then generally, in a dedicated hybrid engine, what are the things that are increased? You can see spray quality. We can increase, you can say in ARI also these testings are done. That means how you can increase the combustion efficiency by increasing the spray quality, injection strategy, air motion, ignition energy, and hydrocarbon emission sources. By, you can say, monitoring all these things or by regulating all these things, you can increase the combustion efficiency. How you can increase the thermodynamic efficiency of your engine? From compression ratio by changing the compression ratio, then stroke to volume ratio, then your EGR, exhaust gas recirculation, lean operation, and combustion insulation. These things can increase the thermodynamic efficiency. Then gas exchange efficiency by using variable valve trains, downsizing the engine, EGR, lean operation, cylinder deactivation, air path losses. These things are needed for gas exchange efficiency. Then how to increase the mechanical efficiency by crank train friction, piston friction, valve train friction, timing valve friction, and auxiliary frictions. So finally, we will get an improvement of 39% in our electric vehicle system. Okay, if we go for this type of tunings. Okay, same. You can see we can use in a dedicated hybrid engine. We can use Miller cycle, water injection, lean burn, and cool EGR. Water injection can also be done. Remember, water injection improves the thermodynamic efficiency and also the combustion efficiency because of additional hydrogen and we can say oxygen. Oxygen is there in the water, hydrogen is also there. When it is sprayed in atomized, remember, when water is, if you throw water in a liquid form, then it will, you can say, it will not help in combustion. But when you atomize the water and spray it on the combustion, then it will help in combustion. When you atomize the water, now because of the polarized nature of the water, it will help in reaching very good combustion. Then these are your dedicated hybrid engines. Okay, you can see Mahel powertrain. In here, you have both an engine as well as a motor coupled with a gearbox. So it has two models. Here, the engine and the motor without the gearbox. Here, the engine, the motor, and the gearbox. Okay, then let us talk about some of the alternate fuels. So what are the alternate fuels that are available? Okay, let us, I'll be continuing. So what are these powertrains? You can say it has dual mode plug-in hybrid powertrain, integrated series parallel hybrid electric drives, dedicated hybrid internal combustion engine. You can see it has series parallel hybrid drive. So it is series. Series means we have engine, then engine is connected to a generator. Okay, sorry. If I'm going very fast, so I'll be slowing it down a little bit. Actually, we have a lot of things to cover. So in a series, okay. Hello, the screen is not visible. Okay, so in series hybrid,
Yes, sir.
we have engine. Okay, in series hybrid, first we have in series hybrid. Okay, in series hybrid, first we have series. First we have engine, then we have generator, then we have motor. The generator also recharges the battery. Okay, this is your series hybrid. Parallel hybrid, in parallel hybrid, you have the engine, then you have the motor. They are both coupled together in a mechanical coupler. And to your drivetrain or to your wheels. And this engine is also connected to a generator. And generator connected to the battery. And battery connected to the motor. So in series, engine, generator, motor, and battery. In parallel, engine, motor, both of them help in transmission, and engine is also connected to the generator and to the battery. Generator is used to generate electricity and motor is used to drive the vehicle. Okay. Simultaneously, we cannot use a motor as a generator. Hence, either we can use it as a motor or as a generator. Okay. Hence, we do that. So now this is only the hybrid engine and motor. Okay, without any gearbox. Parallel to generator. So these are the engine specification. 2-valve cylinder, turbocharger is there, Miller cycle is used, and limited speed, low range efficiency, compact, lightweight, low technology, very low specific fuel consumption, readily scalable for multiple vehicle, and potential for high efficiency with ultra lean MGI sparks. Then comes the alternative fuels. So what are the various types of fuels that are available that we can use in order to. So all this, remember, all these informations, now the session is going on. So please wait. After the end of the session, all the information will be provided to you. Okay, don't worry. Electrified vehicles need not specifically be battery electric vehicles, but there are various levels of hybrid vehicles from the standard plug-in in which engine provides mechanical traction power to extended range. That are the hybrids. Okay, so a whole lot of electric vehicles are there along with the fuel source. All these types of hybrid cars uses some type of fuel that are burned in an ICE. Okay. With the exception of the fuel cell hybrids, these latter vehicles uses hydrogen or another hydrogen-rich fuel such as alcohols or ammonia, in which does not burn but goes through different process, normally involving catalytic process through proton exchange membrane. So this proton exchange membrane is generally used where? It is used in your fuel cell. Okay. It is generally used in your fuel cell. Okay. So what are the fuel cell? How generally fuel cell runs? So fuel cell, let me see whether I can show the fuel cell. So while hybrid system tends to duplicate systems, which might be advantages in terms of cost, while some of these limitations are no longer critical for small urban vehicles. Okay. So now let us see. You can say it is important to know whether a fuel is based on renewable energy such as crop when it does, but you can say we can also derive biofuels from our, you can say, crops like algae, and a whole lot of crops are there from which we can we can extract biofuels. Okay, we can extract biofuels from all those things. Okay. However, it has been seen later, sometimes it is difficult to assess what is the fuel is bio from renewable energy or not. That means when we say as biodiesel, like diesel and biodiesel means it is 100% built in a lab. Okay. Biodiesel, biogasoline, all these things are manufactured in a lab by using renewable resources. Okay. By using renewable resources. Some fuels such as hydrogen or ammonia can be produced from fossil sources, but they can also be produced entirely from renewable sources. This is the case for hydrogen produced from hydrolysis of water. Okay. Then let us see the list of alternate fuels that are available. So fossil fuels are there: coal, crude oil, natural gas. Then crude oil has butane, propane, LPG, petrol, kerosene, diesel. Then natural gas, CNG, LNG, methanol. All these things are there. Then biofuels, fossil fuels. Remember, fossil fuels are extracted from the core, and biofuels are completely manufactured from renewable resources that can be, and they're manufactured in a lab. So crop plants are there, fermentation is done. From that we create ethanol, methanol, butanol. Then from crop we have BTL. Through thermochemical process and pyrolysis we get the liquid fuels. Then pine resin is also there, that is used to create turpentine. Okay. So which type of EV is more efficient, series or parallel? Actually, both of them are efficient. Okay. If I say series is more efficient than parallel, because if the engine is not taking part in the drivetrain, then it is more efficient because less mechanical losses will be there. Okay. Okay. So coming back to the biofuels, from animal manure and general waste, we get digesters or landfills. Okay. biogas, GTL fissures, okay, liquid fuels, methanol, hydrogen, all these things. Crops, grains, mechanical process, vegetable oils, all these are also used to create your alternate fuels. Okay. So all these fuels have various types of, you can say, ignition rate and emission rate. Okay. Ignition rate and emission rate that helps us to achieve what? Less emission. By finding out from their higher heating value and low heating value, we can know whether a fuel can be used as a proper, so it means a proper thing to be used in your hybrid electric vehicles or not. Okay. Another important property is the heating value of a stoichiometric air fuel mixture in terms of volume at atmospheric pressure. This shows the amount of energy that can be introduced to an IC engine per cycle, which affects torque and power. Okay, the RON, research octane number, and CN, Ceton number, it is used to classify commercial petrol and diesel fuels, respectively, are related to where the fuel self-ignites. High RON numbers are good for spark ignition, where CN numbers are good for diesel emissions. Now, what are the best things? That means how we can again improve our emission norms by using active pre-combustion chamber. So we have seen that is, if we use dedicated engines, we can improve our emission. If we use biofuels, we can improve our emission. Okay. And if we use activated pre-combustion chamber also in our engines, we can increase our emission. An active pre-combustion chamber system has been designed. Okay. The pre-combustion chamber insert made from high temperature capable material contains a spark plug and a fuel injector, and the main chamber has a side mounted direct injector. This type of active pre-combustion chamber is also there in your dedicated hybrid engine. Okay. Design works has focused on cooling up the pre-chamber along with optimizing the pre-combustion volume and clamping arrangement. Okay. Then you can see a Ricardo model. That means Ricardo is used for simulating engines. So this Ricardo model, it is showing how the active pre-combustion chamber is helping us to reach higher thermal efficiency. As a part of the design process, virtual production development tools such as 1D performance simulation, 3D computational fluid dynamics, and thermal analysis have been employed. So 3D CFD has been used to investigate the develop scavenging of the pre-combustion chamber. Injection scavenging means how much the burnt fuel is being removed from the active pre-combustion chamber. The efficiency of the burnt fuel being removed from the active chamber, it is scavenging, and ignition and combustion in the pre-chamber and main chamber. Okay. Okay, so let me again cover up what are the things. First is we have seen the pollution norms by ARAI. What are the various norms that are there? Then how the engines are, or how we are proceeding by to reduce the norms by changing the type of engine that were used, because hybrid electric vehicle will be running. We'll see a lot of hybrid electric vehicle, but for hybrid electric vehicle we cannot install a engine and a motor separately. We have to create an engine that can configure both the engine and the motor, and can also have variable, or you can say various types of power delivery system, power delivery can say capability, like it should be able to deliver the power in series. That means we can only run a motor, we can only run an engine, we can run an engine and motor, both of them. So both these things are provided, or all these things are provided by the dedicated hybrid engines without the use of any planetary gearbox. Okay. Then what are the biofuels that are developed? Various types of biofuels that are there. These biofuels helps us to achieve our emission norms. Then you can say building or designing very good pre-combustion chamber or active pre-combustion chamber in the engines also will help to reduce the emission norms. Okay. Okay, so I'll be ending the session in here. If you have any doubt, quickly ask your doubts.